I'm gonna be trying out to build an iOS app using AI tools. For this first try, I'm gonna try rebuilding one of my older apps that I used to have. It's actually my first iOS app that I ever built by myself. Oh no, the screenshots are not here. The website is already gone, so you can't actually find it. But let's see if we can find the screenshots somewhere else. There you go. So the app has a relatively simple UI. So you got to remember, this is 2015. This is a long time ago when I actually created this and uploaded it. So that's almost 10 years ago. How about that? I think this is like an iPhone 6 or whatever screenshots. It combines two different productivity systems. One of them is the getting things done. So where you split your tasks in three categories: to do, doing, and done. Essentially, it's very simple. You have a list of to-dos. Once you move a task to doing, it moves it to that list. Once you have a task in doing, I think what it used to do, it would automatically start the timer. This is a productivity timer. That's why the app is called Kanban productivity timer. So you have the Kanban style of separating your tasks in three different categories. And then you also have the timer. And this comes from the Pomodoro timer or whatever other timer you want to use, essentially. In this case, I'm showing it with a 90-minute timer. And then also each task has detail view where you have the task name. You also have the task description. Then you have some status thingies here. So pretty simple UI, essentially. But yeah, it was my first app. So I think it only makes sense to try and rebuild it with some of these more modern tools that we now have available. By the way, this is my first time actually trying this. So as you can see, I just downloaded Xcode on my computer. I haven't actually tried this setup. Oh, it looks like we're gonna have to download some stuff. Okay, while that downloads, the other thing we can do, I'm actually gonna download this image and I'm gonna start chatting with Claude. What I'm gonna be using Claude for is just writing down the project description. Okay, Xcode kind of finished fast. So let's create a new project. It's gonna be an app. I'm gonna call it Caprotti as the original version, IO Tech Labs. All right, next, I'm gonna be putting it in, it should be a dev, new folder, iOS apps. I'm just gonna put it here. There you go, we have a folder and essentially almost everything else that we need. So right now it's probably not gonna do much, but let's just keep things rolling. Yeah, and by the way, guys, there's no iPhone simulator yet, but I haven't done this in a while, especially doing an Xcode project. So this is gonna be fun. I'm excited. So let's start creating the project description. I need a project description for a main screen with a list of tasks. Let me think if there's something else, but I'll just say check the screenshots for reference. We're looking iOS V2. Okay, let's attach those screenshots and see what we get. Okay, let's go. Okay, minimalist iOS productivity app. Kanban board with 3 columns, simple task creation and management, detailed task view with description, built-in timer with customizable durations, main screen. Let's also add on 90. Okay, this looks good. And by the way, 2 things to consider. First of all, my app did not have any kind of synchronization. There was no authentication or anything like that. I think I was still using a local database, like an SQLite database, just to keep the tasks in a database, but it didn't have the ability to sync. It was only on your device. Anyway, so I've already added rules for the Cursor AI. I can link those in the description. It's essentially telling Cursor what to do and how to behave. And in this case, we're telling it you're an iOS developer and this is what you do. This is actually the wrong folder, so I'm gonna open the right folder, iOS apps, and then Caprotti. Okay, so here we can see the project structure that's coming from iOS. So for example, content view, Caprotti app, Swift. By the way, I have no idea what this is gonna look like. The next thing we need to do is Command Shift K, I think. No, Command Shift I. So first of all, we're gonna create a notepad, which is gonna be called capital T. And here we're gonna paste in the whole, oh no, this is not the right thing. We're gonna paste in the whole thing that we got from Claude. So this app prioritizes ease of use, yada, yada, yada. And then in Composer, we also want to link the notepad, by the way. Wait, I'm confused. I was looking at a video from this girl, Angel Poon. So let me remember what she was doing.
The other thing is when I was...
Creates a new notepad.
And I'm going to name it Bobo Cards. And also add all of these in there. In my command, I'm just going to input this and see what it comes up.
Okay. I got it. So, following the notepad, help me create the app. Okay, and now we wait. While that happens, I'm gonna try and run the previous, like the initial build. I'm gonna run it for the first time with the simulator. It does some indexing and different stuff. So while we wait, we can look at that. Okay, this is the basic structure to get us started. Would you like me to continue with implementing the timer view and camera board view components, or would you prefer to focus on a specific aspect of the app first? Basic app structure with MVVM architecture, core data models, state management, persistence, using user defaults, main navigation structure. Let's see what it actually did. Okay guys, this is exciting. I don't know if this is actually, oh no, it's not done yet. Okay, but let's see. So it created timer manager task. So far, what's wrong? Actually, the lady that I was showing you the video of, she actually had this similar problem. So it's interesting. It's probably based on the structure of the project. It found the problem. It's saying that the app is still using the default content view instead of our new main view. We need to make sure all the necessary files are in the correct locations. Let's update the project structure, make sure all the files, we need to create the missing views, update the app entry point. You can now delete the content view.swift file as we won't be using it anymore. Okay, let's see. Task store, main view. All right. So let's see. Interesting. We have these 3 columns. We have the timer, even though it's not really functional. Or it is. I can't actually edit the timer, but it's here. Let's try adding a task. So adding a task doesn't work, but this works. Sort of. Interesting. Okay. Yes, this is better. Now let's work on adding the task. This is already like, I'm excited because, by the way, this app, as far as I remember, it probably took me, and I'm not even kidding, more than 1 month, probably like 2 months. Every single evening and every single weekend, I would work on that app in order to get it to where it is. So now you can tap the plus button to open the add task sheet. Would you like me to add any additional features? No, not for now. Let's see. I'm actually gonna do something here because this is getting a little bit frustrating. So let's add cursor to this screen. Let's add Xcode to this screen, but not full screen because I also want to have the simulator here too. Okay, so now we have that. Let's see what it does, what it did. Okay, interesting. Let's try typing pick lights for the new office ASAP. I can change the status. Interesting. Okay, let's add the task. This is actually looking solid. Now, I can't open the task any longer, but it's adding the task here. That's a great next step. No, let's keep the task creation process simple for now. Let's move on to next functionalities. Okay, so it got the fact that the next thing is let's implement the drag and drop to move tasks between columns and add task selection to link with the timer. And let's update the timer manager to track the selected task. These changes add drag and drop functionality, visual feedback. Let's click run. I'm just gonna do a screenshot here I'm just gonna say that there's some errors and it doesn't build. How can I add a file here? I can't. Interesting. Okay. There's some errors. Can I somehow copy one error? And then also this one. We need to make our drop delegate conform to the, it's gonna fix its error. Now, one thing that Cursor is now famous for is the fact that it does do a bunch of errors essentially. So you're gonna have to get used to that. Save all, Command R, by the way, is doing a build. It did build. Another good thing is that I still have my task here. It's a little bit hard to do, but it did it. Awesome. Let's move on. Now it says it's gonna add this functionality with the ability to select the timer duration with those preset durations and also be updating the timer view. Save all, but you gotta select the thing first. Build succeeded. That's a funny UI, but let's actually add a new task of furniture. Let's try doing something while that's running. Take the trash out. I want to see what happens when I keep adding those things in there. Yeah, okay, this really messed up the UI. Anyway, let's see. Can I actually rearrange this? No, I can't. All in all, it looks good, I think. The other thing is, if I move this to done, this is okay. Created. 2. Column. 3. Updates. We can... Essentially, the app now works more or less. There's some problems with the UI where this would kind of break the UI. This just pushes things to the top. Also, I don't think there's any scroll in this direction, which is another thing we're going to have to address at some point. There is no way to edit a task or delete a task. We don't have the task detail view, but yeah, we can add tasks, we can move them around, and we can start and stop this timer. We can select, we actually didn't test this. So it's now at 15 minutes. This resets the timer, which is okay, I guess. That's nice, I like it. This feature is pretty cool. Now we have to fix the UI and all that, but let's see what happened here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this does not work. Let's select. Total time spent. I don't understand. So let's go back to Cursor. So first of all, I'm going to tell it to also add some snapping to the columns. That's actually a lot of things. So we do have the scroll now. We do have the snapping of the columns, which is nice. Yeah, this is not even going to work now. Okay, let's try adding a test directly to doing, to see if the other things work. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if this even does anything. For now, it doesn't look like it's going to do anything. Columns seem to be too wide. Let's add some shortcuts. Yeah. Yeah, so this was kind of like my main thing at the time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to swipe it to another status. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do it. But essentially, this looks like it's doing what this took me ages. Like basically calculating how much time a task has been in doing was one of like the most painful things I had to do, by the way. This probably took me the longest time, almost forever. This doesn't seem to be, but yeah, we will address that next. Okay, let's see what that does. To do, doing, done. This has been in doing for a little bit. Okay, shortcuts are great. So I can move a task to doing. It's interesting that it's automatically selecting that task. I don't have the productivity timer currently set up, which is nice. I mean, currently running, which is nice. So it doesn't automatically start the timer. So let's see. Yeah, almost, I think. So this has been here for a little bit. So I can add it to do or to doing with those shortcuts, which is nice. Okay, that's done now. Okay, I like it. We're 46 minutes in. Probably gonna have to cut some parts of this video because I got distracted a couple times. So about 40 minutes after starting this for the first time, we already have more or less the same functionality that I used to have in my previous app. And that's crazy because, like I said, this thing took me not 3, but maybe 2 months every evening after work. I used to work a different job at the time. So every evening after work, and every weekend, basically the whole weekend, I would just work on that app nonstop. And I remember how frustrating it was. It was, like I said, 2015, so that's almost 10 years ago. If I released it during April of 2015, I actually remember that I started working on this app in January because I had a buddy at the time. We're working on another app together. He had to go to the United States for a business trip. And then while he was gone, I just started working on this separate app by myself. So it's actually almost exactly 10 years ago that I've done this. And it's crazy that I was able to now do it in about 40 minutes with actually, I think, a better UI than what I used to have. It's a brave new world, guys. Now I'm gonna play with this a little bit more and try to fix some of these other things. But like I said, this is basically everything I had in this original app. And I think this actually even looks better. So, okay, this looks great. Not great, as I would say much better. Okay, let's see now. Okay, colors are nice, are still too wide. All right. Yeah, let's see. Maybe I didn't save. See, told ya. Okay, this is better. It's not exactly what I wanted it to be, but it is better. What I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna take a screenshot. Save screen. This is better to both sides. Yeah, so it tries to do that right here. Yeah, let's see. So it killed the snapping when scrolling, which is funny. Column widths are actually perfect right now. Seem to be perfect now. That's not better. The other thing that's cool is that this thing stays like that. Okay, it's now almost perfect. Let's tell. I'm not very bullish on that, but let's see. No, that's not right. Okay, this is now 1 hour in. And by the way, this is not, oh, no, that didn't work at all. That messed the whole thing up. Yeah, I like that. Sometimes it like does that where it just deletes the whole thing. It tries a simpler approach. Okay, that's slightly better. Again, too wide. This one is okay, I guess. It does have some issues, but I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. This seems to be more or less fine. All right. Also, I did remember what I wanted to do, which is interesting. Sometimes forget to do the save all, which I don't think actually applies. If you don't do it, doesn't apply to changes. That's much simpler, cleaner. All right, I like it. Let's move this to doing. Nice. 1 hour and 5 minutes. I mean, that actually works now, but yeah. Okay, that's much better. Let's congratulate our guy. Column 2. Okay. Should now have a delete functionality. Couple errors. Okay, errors are gone. All right. Well, I don't see this swipe to delete that it's saying it added, but it has the delete, so that's fine. Okay, that works. Next. Let's do 2. Yeah, we'll see. This sounds a little bit scary because I fear that it might mess a little bit of the things up. Oh, wow. Okay, there's this little problem that we're now going to try to fix, but works great. Still does it. My prompts are getting worse. Two new errors. Okay, errors are gone. Okay, this actually stopped working completely. Sorry guys, got distracted. But yeah, this is not working as expected. Yeah, errors are gone. Not working anymore. Doesn't seem to change anything. No, still doesn't work. Simplifying things is always a good idea. No. Again. Oh, let's see. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I think the code was, yeah, no change. Yeah, no change. Still no change. Okay, I'm actually gonna pause this video for now, and once we have something better, I'll restart it.